Well, the God of War Ragnarok reviews are out, and yeah, they're pretty damn good. So let's talk about the reviews right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Brap rant. Actually, look, I wasn't planning on doing a Brap. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I was actually planning to do a Brap rant today about the God of War Ragnarok reviews, which dropped about almost 2 hours ago. Dropped 12 p.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and look, they are incredible reviews. On last night's Brap, if you didn't check out last night's Brap show, please check it out. Also, do me a quick favor. Hit the like button and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you're alerted when we go live. Brap is the only place you should not. I shouldn't say only. Well, you know what? It's the only place that provides truth. Hence the Truth Network. I'm joking. Kind of. But no, anyhow. No, seriously. All jokes aside, definitely subscribe, hit the bell notifications here later when we go live, so you can join us for all the latest and greatest video game news, opinions, conversations, etc. But anyhow, look, we did a Brap show yesterday, and again, if you haven't checked it out, please check out last night's Brap. It was a great show. We talked about the PlayStation VR2 price point. And what's up, everyone in the live chat? Please hit that like button. See some familiar faces here. So we basically talked about God of War Ragnarok, the review. We gave our predictions of what we thought the game would what the Metacritic would be. And look, I said it was going to get an 89. Clearly, I was off the mark. And I said 89 because some of the other first party games from Sony more recently have been like the curse of the 88, if you will. Which 88 is not a bad aggregate score by any stretch of the imagination. And they've been pretty consistent in that mark, oddly enough. 88's kind of been consistent with The Last of Us Remake Part 1, and then with Ratchet and Clank. I believe Returnal may have been 88 as well. Thank you, Alfonso Carter. Appreciate the support, man, as always. But this game right now, this game in particular, is actually doing better than the other games that I just mentioned in terms of the Metacritic score. And it's I mean, the reviews have just been really, really positive. If you see here, Metacritic right now, it's at a 94. A 94 Metacritic. Look at that. So that's what it is right now with Metacritic, a 94. And the reviews are just, I mean, just amazing. You know, a lot of the, it's interesting. One of the things I have been saying is that, you know, there isn't any, and I kind of had this inclination that this might be the case just with looking at some of the footage that we saw early on footage, but you know, no really improved gameplay mechanics per se, but the story from what everyone is saying, the overall experience, you got to remember video games exist on a grand spectrum and work, or basically some of its parts. So I know I've seen some people say, oh, well, the combat, you know, the combat's not as good, so it shouldn't be at 94. It's biased, Enrique. Me and Hillary, we don't really like that score. It's biased. I've seen some of that, as crazy that is. And that just skates by the fact that a game is the sum of its parts. And sometimes the parts that work really well in a game overshadow the parts that may not be either a strong part of the gameplay experience, or maybe a very weak part of the gameplay experience. That's why I say these things exist on a spectrum. So, look, I was expecting an 89, and this, and for what I've seen so far, it's definitely has exceeded my expectations. Now, here's some of the headlines on Twitter with God of War. We see IGN here. God of War Ragnarok is an almighty achievement, creating a new high that makes many of its peers look positively mortal by comparison. Now, IGN gave this a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And they were really praising this game. Actually, we pull up Gene Park, Washington Post owned Gene Park. Big shout out to Gene. He had this to say. Let me pull up his commentary here. Where's Gene? Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. Here's Gene Park. God of War Ragnarok is finally this is spicy. This is spicy. Look, not many games that I've played in recent memory have been able to accomplish what The Witcher 3 did. One of the things that made The Witcher 3 so great as a game, and one of the best games last console generation, was that the side quests were incredible. The Bloody Baron, wow. That side quest. I mean, and Geralt, the side quest for Geralt, if you think about Geralt as a Witcher, made sense for his character, and were super immersive, and didn't feel like chores to me. They didn't feel like chores at all. They felt like they belonged within the context of the main story of the game. And what Gene Park is saying here is God of War Ragnarok has finally dethroned The Witcher 3 with the best side quests I've played in an adventure game. He's saying it's better than The Witcher 3 side quests, which are amazing. To me, that's always been the bar with side quests. Does this game, if it has side quests, how does it stack up to The Witcher 3? For me personally. Yeah, Mario Heat says, don't even know how the Bloody Baron was a side quest. It was intense. It absolutely was. That's what made Witcher 3 so great. But Gene is saying The Witcher 3 he's saying God of War Ragnarok has finally dethroned The Witcher 3 with the best side quest I played in an adventure game. The game's coolest fights, most heartfelt stories, and grandest areas are in the side quests. Do not skip them. And I've heard how this game opens up, and really, when you get to a certain part of the game world really opens up for the player, and it's really immersive, and it's a beautiful looking game. But look, I mean, this, yeah, Sam Walter says, man, these Sony releases feel like big events almost every year. And I was actually going to bring up that point, like these AAA games, these events that Sony does. I mean, Sony. I've always said this. Like I've argued that PlayStation 5 has, Sony in particular, which is not PlayStation 5, but Sony with PlayStation brand is kind of positioned as a luxury brand, kind of like they've taken kind of an Apple-esque type of approach to the PlayStation product, right or wrong, whether you agree with that or not. But they've done that. They've positioned it as kind of this luxury device with these, with kind of a sleek high-end look design feature to it, whether you like the design of the PlayStation 5 or not, but haptic feedback controllers of the DualSense and all that other stuff, and then these high these games from their AAA studios that have high production values that are best in class in terms of AAA games. And I mean, you see this. I mean, there's not many first party studios outside of Nintendo that can really kind of string together games at a very high level. And if you think about how difficult software development is to begin with, this is pretty impressive. And what they've done here with God of War is nothing short of that. I mean, look, we've all and I know the conversation is going to turn to, well, which game is game of the year now? Is it going to be Elden Ring, which is the highest I believe it might be the highest Metacritic game of the year. I have to go back and check, but it was, I think, Elden Ring maybe in a 95. I have to go back and look at the Elden Ring Metacritic. Actually, let me look at that real quick, because now I'm curious. Let's see here. Elden Ring Metacritic. So Elden Ring Metacritic, at least for PS5, sits at 96 right now. God of War is 94. So that's so this game is right up there with Elden Ring. I still think Elden Ring takes game. Well, I can I let me just walk that back a little bit. I haven't played God of War Ragnarok yet. Um, but for right now, based on the other games that I played this year, this year so far, I would say that God of War is probably, or I would say the Elden Ring is still my game of the year. That could change with God of War. Um, I just an early opinion observation, maybe. One thing I'll say with, and I think for me, it's gonna depend on how strong the story is. The one thing that Elden Ring has, maybe that God of War has, and again, I admittedly haven't played God of War Ragnarok, but maybe the one slight edge that Elden Ring might have is that it took the Souls formula to a completely different level, kind of in similar fashion of what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda in some ways. But because that's Gene's take, and look, I mean, that is a one. It's a tremendous compliment to God of War Ragnarok to even compare, to even say that it's even if Gene said, "Hey, it's on par with side quests of The Witcher 3," that to me would have been a respectful compliment to the game. But to say that it's the best adventure game or the best side quests in an adventure game that he's played since and that it's dethroned The Witcher 3, that is that's quite the compliment. Now, I'm curious now, and I want to see what this game's going to look like, or I'm going to see what how these side quests look or play, I should say. Um, I'm just Bender String says not graphically, Brap. I guess you're talking. Are you talking about Elden Ring? I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe Elden Ring. But yeah, anyhow, I'm interested in seeing and experiencing these side quests because when I saw that Gene posted this, my eyes literally popped on my head. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that's a pretty big compliment for a game, The Witcher 3, that had, in my opinion, some of the best side quests that I've ever played in the 40 years of playing video games. So let's see here. Who else had commentary? Oh, here we go. Here's Matt Piscatella. Matt is the NPD analyst for video games and for the NPD group. We've had Matt on the show before. Big shout out to Matt. Matt says, hold on a sec here. Matt says, PlayStation 5 already had a remarkable sales and share momentum through Q3 thanks to improved hardware availability and the trickle-down impact of areas like gamepads. Having a 90-plus God of War and improved hardware supply, lookout could be a huge Q4 for the platform. So he thinks that with improved, stock availability and retail and God of War, which Sony's going to market the hell out of as being maybe like game of the year. He's saying that he thinks that this could be lead to a huge Q4 for the Sony PlayStation platform, and maybe it could. We'll see. But that's an interesting observation and commentary by Matt. So those are just some of the comments that I've seen. I mean, again, if you look at pull up Metacritic here again. All right, got Metacritic up here, and let's see. Show you some of the reviews. Got some of these larger digital trends. Let me see. I gotta see all. They posted all. push square. Let's see. I want to go to VGC. Gave it 100. God of War Ragnarok is an incredible special game. It's vital. It's vital in a way few releases are, with captivating performance that carry an amazing story to a jaw-dropping final act. It's a game that achieves everything it sets out to do to the absolute high standard. That level of standard, again, that's kind of what I was talking about. Kind of that differentiator that Sony has, as a console maker. I mean, they just we always talk about, a lot of gamers talk about the quality of Sony first party. Let's see here. I'm looking at trying to find some of these bigger sites. Attack of the Fanboy gave it 100. God of War Ragnarok is an outstanding game that will stand as a beacon for what storytelling greatness should be. With an improved combat system, impressive new enemies, immersive environments, and unparalleled storytelling, God of War delivers one of the deepest, richest gaming experiences to date. Whew. Let's see. Let's list some of these other ones here. Forbes magazine says God of War Ragnarok is a beautiful, moving game, no longer purely centered on a father getting to know his son, but also about vengeance, forgiveness, and attempting to change both prophecy and the people we used to be, both of which proved to be equally difficult. It's almost impossible for me to imagine those who love the last God of War would not also appreciate this one just as much, minus a lag and stretch here or there, and the fact that it can be a transformer, and the fact that it can't be as transformative as the initial leap from the Greek game. So, Game Informer gave it a 95 too. God of War Ragnarok feels a lot like God of War 2018, which is a compliment considering how fantastic that game is. Sony Santa Monica was right not to break what was broken, and has expertly continued the story threads that were left hanging from the previous game. Any complaints about the overall experience from your combat, collecting, and leveling up equipment isn't particularly interesting, are quickly forgotten in the face of compelling narrative, believable character relationships, and incredible visuals and animation. So that's what I was talking about, how when games exist on this large spectrum, and they are really a function of the sum of the entire, a game is a function of the sum of its parts. And so while combat, and I saw some people criticizing the game for that, who've never played, haven't played God of War Ragnarok yet. Clearly, in this case, they believe that, while the combat, leveling, and all that stuff is the same as the last time, it doesn't take away from the other things that the game does very well. Here's the Washington Post giving it a 95. Popular entertainment these days is obsessed with lore to a fault. Disney's Marvel and Star Wars franchises have entire councils of people devoted to keeping lore straight across these stories. Even 2022's biggest game, Elden Ring, was essentially a story all about lore, which it was, confusing story at times, but it was. Despite tapping into well-minded Norse mythology, Ragnarok is focused squarely on seeing and hearing its characters. Like Kratos, you will actually like spending time with them. The memories of these people stay with you long after the credits roll. By the end, you will believe that even a God of War can earn himself some peace. I'm just, as I'm reading some of these just headlines here, I'm getting me more excited to play this game. I can't wait for next week. I just can't wait till next week. But this is again kind of what I said earlier. These are the kind of experiences that Sony, the PlayStation brand, has been known for. And this is kind of why, I said earlier, Sony in its handling, whether you agree with it or not, of the PlayStation brand, kind of tries to position as a, kind of in an Apple-esque way, as kind of a luxury item, and these experiences are kind of high end, of high quality gaming experiences that you can only find on the PlayStation platform. And so, again, that's not to take away from the other platforms, by the way. I know I'm not trying to use that as a way to put down the other platforms. I think each platform, Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, and PlayStation, they do things uniquely differently. So 3 Edge Lord, that's fine if you don't like the Sony experiences, but I mean, and I don't know why you're bringing up their all-time exclusive. Like, if you're going to come here in console war, dude, you can leave, because really not trying to have that kind of conversation here. Would like to have some well thought out conversations in the chat, as opposed to, yeah, man, my console's better than yours. I don't know if that's. It seems like you might be trying to do that, but by trying to downplay by things saying like it should be a good flick, like that's if that's what you're trying to do, that's super immature of you. I mean, like hopefully you're not an adult, and if you are, um, maybe you should put yourself in timeout and kind of think about why you're reacting to video games this way because it's really unbecoming. It's sad. um, yeah, it's kind of things I would expect like my 8-year-old or how my 8-year-old to behave. So look, I mean, look, if you want to have a a well thought out conversation, minus the trying to um, tear a game down, um, that's fine. But to do that, it's just stupid. Like, don't do that. Like, it's yeah. That bugs me when people do that. And I see people do it with Xbox exclusives. I see people doing with Nintendo exclusive. It's like, look, it's fair to say, look, I don't like I like more gameplay in my games. I like, I don't like the cinematic pieces of games. It's fair. That's fine. Um, just leave it at that. But to be like should be a good flick, and that is just trying to tear down a game to a plastic box, which is really weird. So yeah. Um, Yeah, and Nate says PlayStation exclusives are largely the highest production value games I've played in my 30 years of gaming. Yeah, I would say that. And I mean, that's kind of the consistency I've seen in the 40 years I've been gaming. That the consistency in terms of quality. No, Three Edge Lord, it's not the truth. It's maybe it's your opinion. But to say truth would relate to some, to say that it's truth that's look that's your opinion, man. I mean, like that's and some people like those things, but I don't know why you're in here trying to tear a game down, which it seems like what you're doing. It's just weird, man. And you're probably an adult, and that's pretty sad. That you're behaving like this over video games. Like these things are meant for entertainment, and you have this weird emotional attachment to video games or something. It's odd. Um, but Yeah, and Three Edge Lord, and if look, man, dude, like save some face, man. Like seriously, have some self respect, some decency for yourself. Don't behave like this, man. Like it's crazy. It's like I feel like I'm having a conversation with my 8-year-old right now, and I'm assuming you're an adult, and that's the tragedy of it all. That you're probably an adult, and you're coming in here acting like console warring. It's just weird. Um, but yeah, to your point, man, like yeah, I would agree with you, man. The high level of like, and I just played we played the Last of Us in September. I mean, look at Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, just the amount of detail and the kind of narrative experiences and the stories and these characters that connect with you. There aren't many games that actually any color. I actually do not console war. Um, yeah, I don't console war. So by all stretch of the imagination, if you have specific examples when I've console war, please provide them. By all means, I'd be more than happy to have that discussion. But I can tell you that I don't console war. I just don't. So I don't know if you're going to make those kind of accusations. At least provide some specific examples, which I know you can't. So I mean, you're just wasting your breath. And again, you're an adult too, and you're in here trying to stir the pot for whatever reason, calling somebody a hypocrite you don't even know. You're probably an adult, which is even trivial. It's sad. It's just sad, man. It really is. It's over video games. And you're in here behaving like this, and you're an adult. Like it's time to probably for you to rethink what you're doing. Have a probably honest conversation with yourself about why am I so angry about video games? I don't know. Maybe you don't have a job. I don't know. Maybe you're not fulfilled at home. I don't know what to tell you. Um, but back to Nate's point. But no, Nate, like you said, Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, just the level to attention of detail in some of these first party games is always something that I've come to appreciate with some of Sony's first party games. And I've mentioned like even Uncharted and The Last of Us and There's these like small finite details to these games. If you pay attention to them, like you'll notice it and you'll be like, wow, like it's like there was a developer that's on Twitter who mentioned that he had worked for Naughty Dog, and he said like the how meticulous they are is it's just it's really at astronomical levels. Like he said he had never experienced anything like that. I gotta remember his name. Um, but he mentioned that just the level of detail that Naughty Dog puts in their games. He's like, he goes, he's never experienced anything like that. He's like, it could be the smallest minute detail that most gamers wouldn't know, and they are perfecting that to a T. And I think that's kind of what we've seen across the board with Sony's first party, big AAA games, where they are essentially, just these games that have, that are well written, that have, great stories, that have memorable characters, that have just this great attention to detail. And it's really cool to see that, to have that, because we don't really necessarily have that, from other developers per se. Um, and it's look, I think if you love video games, it's something to be celebrated, even if it's not for you. The fact that we can get those kind of games, and I got to say something else too. For a game to hit a 94 Metacritic, that's not easy to do. To have that kind of general consensus when you have people who have, different taste, and see things subjectively, as relates to art, which gaming is an art form, is really incredible. And that's why I even said, like, even Elden Ring, to have that kind of game, a Souls game, get a 96 Metacritic, to have that consensus amongst people with different taste, is a tremendous feat, I think. So yeah, Rob the Animator. Thank you, Nate. That's his name, Rob the Animator. Yeah, that's who it was. I think is he with Ben Studios now? Yeah, Alfonso Carr. I did see the last trailer on Forspoken. It looks pretty cool. I'm still kind of on the fence with I'm still on the fence with with Returnal, but not Returnal. With Forspoken, so we'll see. Again, Three Edge Lord. I mean, I don't know why you're in here, man. Like, honestly, like you 120 FPS mode running at 912p. I mean, okay, and like I mean, again, you're behaving like a child over a video game. I mean, dude, like, have some respect for yourself, man. Seriously, like, it has to come down to a lack of self-respect for one, as an adult, to come into a chat room like this and act like a 2-year-old about a video game. I don't get it. It's really it's pathetic. I don't know, maybe you want the attention. Yeah, Brian, I'm not going to do that. He might actually enjoy that. All right, so we won't be seeing Three Edge Lord anymore. I mean, I honestly look, guys, like, we can have a difference of opinions, and that's fine. But that kind of stuff, that kind of childish behavior, like, I don't want to see that in the chat. Like, it's just it's dumb. Like, there's other podcasts people can go to where that kind of behavior is accepted. This isn't it. This isn't it. Like, we're trying to have a conversation here. Around a video game. And no one's console warring here. No one's, everyone's just talking about their excitement for God of War. They're talking about other games that they've played recently. And Nate's talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as his maybe game of the year, which is a game I still need to play. I still have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I haven't played it yet. So I need to get to that, but I probably won't, because I'm playing Call of Duty right now. And then, next week on the 9th, God of War comes out. So, and hopefully Sony gets my special edition, collector's edition. Hopefully they get that back to hopefully they get that to me on release day, because I've been known to double dip when my collector's edition doesn't arrive, because I don't want to wait. I haven't watched. Yeah, Mario Heat. I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm not gonna be able to pull up the Digital Foundry analysis right now. I just don't have time. I gotta hop off here in a little bit, a couple minutes. Um, what is it? I got. Let me see what Digital Foundry. What's up, T Rock? T Rock says Brapping your high 80s predictions. Hey, T Rock, man, that's what I thought, man. I didn't think they were going to break the 88 curse, as I was calling it. Let me look up. Let me see something here real quick. See if Digital Foundry has an article on War. Let me see here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to pull this up. No, it looks like they God of War. Okay, I got to watch this video then. So God of War does have one, two, three, four, five, six different quality modes on PlayStation 5, 3 on PlayStation 4. So let's talk about the different modes here. Let me see if I pull this up for you all. All right, let's see if this here we go. Let's see here. All right. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so the PlayStation 5 has a favorite performance mode with 1440 1440 to 4K at 60 FPS target. That's the performance mode. Then it has a performance plus HFR mode, which is 1440p unlocked 60 FPS, and then a performance plus HFR and VRR variable refresh rate mode at 1440p unlocked to 60 frames per second. And then it has a quality mode that's native 4K 30 FPS. And then it's got a quality plus HFR mode, which is 1800 to 2160p at 40 FPS target. And then it has a quality mode at plus HFR plus VAR at 1800 2060p unlocked at 40 FPS. So, and then PS4 has performance mode 1080 to 1656p at 30 FPS unlocked. Quality mode at 1440 to 1656p. Interesting resolution targets there. 30 FPS target. That's the PS4 Pro. Or these are Pro specs. And then standard PS4 standard 1080p 30 FPS target. So those are the those are the target modes. So HFR is high frame rate mode, by the way. So I should mention that. So those are the different modes on God of War Ragnarok. Now, I think some of the live chat did mention that Digital Foundry has released their analysis video. So I gotta see. T-Rock, you said 91. T-Rock, I haven't seen you in the Brap chat in a while, man. I haven't even seen you online in a while, man. Usually I see you playing Fortnite. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch Digital Foundry video and see what be interested to see what they had to say about how the game performs in these different modes. But yeah, I'm Better String says 60 FPS made mode for me all the way. Yeah, I'll probably be at 60 FPS, but I don't know. I gotta see. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta see what these. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta. I might want to play that graphics mode and see how that game looks. So I did toggle back with Horizon Forbidden West between performance and quality mode. So, yeah. So Yeah, some people are saying this could be the best game of the generation, but I think it's best that we wait to make that commentary till later on the generation. I actually saw some people say that. I saw some people say this is definitely a game of the year. Again, I would say let's all have that hands-on experience with this game and then arrive to that conclusion after we've played this game. But this game has generated a lot of buzz on social media right now. A lot of media sites reviewed this game outside of the typical IGNs, GameStops, or GameSpots. T Rock, where have you been? Where have you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while, man. I know you said I tweeted out 91, but I haven't seen you on Fortnite or anything, or I haven't seen the Brap chat in a while either. I hope you're doing well, man. Hold on, let me see something here with T Rock. Is T Rock not a? How's T Rock not a mod? All right, T Rock, you are now a moderator. 3 Mile Island says, Brap, you don't sound hyped. What gives? I mean, I don't know. You want me to do turn on my camera and do backflips? Look, I'm excited for this game. I've been excited for this game for a long time. Key up 901. I need to check out the AMD conference on their GPUs. So I'll check that. We'll probably talk about that on next Wednesday on Brap. Although I don't know if I'm going to do a Brap show next Wednesday because of Call of Duty, or not Call of Duty, God of War. I might be doing a God of War stream. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, 3 Mile. I'm excited. Like, this is one of my most anticipated games of this generation. One of my most anticipated games, obviously this year. I'm excited to play. I just can't wait to play it. Yeah, I don't know how I sound a bit deflated. I'm just talking. Like I'm not. I don't know if you expect me to be shouting from the mountaintops, but yeah, of course I'm going to play it. I got it pre-ordered. Got the special edition, collector's edition, pre-ordered. So hopefully that comes in on the 9th. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. Again, what Gene Park really said really stands out to me is that the side quests are better than the Witcher 3 side quests, and that has me really, really intrigued. Like, I really can't wait to dive into some of these side quests. Like, I just can't. Like, the Witcher 3 just set the bar for me in side quests, and it's a high bar. It's a high bar. Yeah, T Rock, Blue Wrench time, man. Yeah, 3 Mile. I mean, I was more excited for Starfield reveal because that I haven't really seen much that I was really excited for in the Xbox, and to me, that's the kind of big AAA game that I want to see on Xbox that's been missing. So that's why I was excited. I mean, like, this is, this is kind of, for me, kind of an expectation of what you expect with PlayStation when you buy a PlayStation console, these types of things. So when I saw Starfield on Xbox, that's why I sounded probably a little more excited, because I haven't seen much of that. No, Xbox is not my platform. I don't know how you arrived to that conclusion. I just said, I just said that because I've come accustomed to PlayStation for providing these experiences. When Microsoft does something like similar in that fashion, which I thought Starfield was, then I get more hype, because no, I didn't say Xbox is my preferred platform. I said that never mind, dude. I know what I said. Yeah, I wouldn't say I hold Microsoft to a lowered standard per se. They just yeah, I wouldn't say I hold them to a lowered standard. I've become accustomed to them not providing these types of big AAA games more recently. They've done it before, but if they can get like, and if Starfield and plus, outside of Xbox, I thoroughly enjoy Bethesda games. Um, big fan of Elder Scrolls, big fan of Fallout. So, um, yeah, 3 Mile. I don't know what's to sort. No shame, maybe sort it out. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Yeah, you lost me, buddy. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. There's nothing really to sort out. Uh, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Maybe you're doing some mental gymnastics over this, overthinking it a little bit. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see here. Bor Country with a $2 super chat says, what award category would Elden win? Can't see any. Yeah, game of the year. Elden Ring is game of the year. Could be game of the year. Have to see. I have to make that judgment call after playing God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, Double says time to. Damn, Double M, you still have a PlayStation 4 Slim? Jeez, man. Come on, man. It's time to upgrade, sir. Although PlayStation 5s are hard to find right now. No, Bulbor, I disagree, sir. I disagree. All right, everyone. So, so look, November 9th, 6 days, God of War Ragnarok releases. And yeah, it's going to be, I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Mooch is become the voice of reason for the last few years. That's an interesting take. Look, I love Mooch. Obviously, I enjoy podcasting with him, but I don't know if I would say he's been the voice of reason. And I'll tell him that too. On Friday. T-Rock, man, I can't wait to get your impressions on God of War Ragnarok, man. We got to definitely talk after a couple hours of playing it. I'd be interested to get your yeah, I mean 3 Mile, I mean from what I've played so far, it's still my game of the year. I got to play God of War Ragnarok, and then I'll know if it's game of the year. But I just think that, like I said this earlier, I said God of the what Elden Ring did for the Soulsborne formula is similar to what what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda in terms of design, gameplay design, things like that. I mean, it really. I mean, when I remember hearing they were going to make From Software was going to make a Souls-like open world game, I was like, no way. How's that going to work? And they knocked it out of the park. So, well, again, 3 Mile. I mean, I said I still need to play Ragnarok, but I'm just basing, my my thought off of just what Elden Ring did with that Souls game formula, and then I'm giving you that historical context and providing Breath of the Wild's an example of that. But I think that I do think based on if I'm just looking at the reviews, that it's going to be God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring is probably two likely candidates to get like to get game of the year. And I'll see, like well, yeah, I mean, like 3 Mile, like I'm not saying that it's going to be, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a delay from what you're hearing, what I'm saying, but anyhow, but what I was going to say is it's probably going to come down to these two games. But for me, the game of the year stuff, like I don't really pay attention to Keeley's awards for game of the year. I'm more interested in like the BAFTA awards, the DICE awards, stuff like that. That to me holds a little more weight in my mind, because that's more industry that's voted on by the industry per se, developers, things like that. So, um, yeah. Plus, Ultra, I disagree with you. I think Breath of the Wild was an amazing Zelda game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, but yeah. Anyhow, look, can't wait for November 9th. Can't come here soon enough. Looking forward to it, and I'd be interested to get everyone's opinions. When we talk about this on BRAP, we give our thoughts of what we played of the game so far. Be interesting to hear everyone in the live chats um, opinion of God of War. So, yeah, Horizon Forbidden West does have some great animation, motion capture. Yeah, I would agree with that, Captain Ply. It's pretty good, pretty good. So, all right, everyone. On that note, I'm going to wrap up this BRAP rant. T-Rock says, I think Elden Ring changed open world design, not just Souls games. We got to talk about that, T-Rock. Be interesting for you to kind of flesh that out a little bit more. Be interesting hearing your take on that, or why you think that. But look, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. And look, if you have God of War Ragnarok next week, please come back to BRAP next week as well. Would love to get your thoughts on what you've played with this game so far. Again, I'm really excited to tackle these side quests of God of War Ragnarok based on what Gene Park said about God of War Ragnarok side quests as it compares to The Witcher 3. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. But do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the bell notification, subscribe, so you can catch us live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and then also get alerted when these videos comes up, when these BRAP rants come up, and when I drop videos on occasion. I will do that on occasion. I'll put out a video. But no, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll talk soon. I'm out.